So the match finished Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 1, Bogey team. Let's get into your calls and see what you lot think. Welcome to the Forest Phone In. Evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I can't wait to hear what you lot have to say, honestly, because it feels to me now, after an hour or two later, boys, it feels like it was kind of a loss, but I don't know. We didn't lose to them, I guess. But how you guys in the chat doing? Hope you're well. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe and all the usual good stuff. I'll pop the link in the chat in a second. Get your asses in because we want to hear your thoughts on the match. I got Crypto and Rob with me tonight. How you boys doing?
All good, all good.
Not particularly happy with that.
Yeah. What I will say, what has lifted my spirits is, as we keep telling you, us in the club like this, man. Mukuku links. Oh, please let it happen. Please let it happen. But we'll have a video out on that probably tomorrow. All right. I just want to start off with, while I get the link up and get you guys coming in backstage, let's kick off with some general thoughts from Rob. Crypto, I kind of want to save yours for tomorrow for Gore. So, Rob, go on, kick us off.
Well, apparently we had a great pre-season. I couldn't see that on display because they look, for me, rusty. Some important players just didn't look ready today. And I think I was very disappointed not to see any of the new signings in the starting lineup. Felt like what we did with Cooper at the start of last season. We brought in all these players and he wouldn't pick them. Now, if you pick the players from last season, you get the performance of last season. It looked to me before the game like it was a very sort of safe lineup, but then I didn't feel safe at all. I felt anything but safe. All the way through the game, I just felt like we were 5 seconds from disaster. One bad pass from disaster. Now, I mean, if I was to defend the players and the manager, obviously the game plan went out the window with the Danilo injury. Had a very lengthy stoppage. I think some of them were possibly shocked by it and worried about him. So, you know, obviously that's not how the game was meant to pan out, which is kind of what happened last time we had Bournemouth at home. The game plan went out the window after about 20 minutes. But, I mean, I hate to say it, but, I mean, the midfield didn't function for me. So you had Sangare and Yates there, zero creativity behind Gibbs-White, who had a real stinker. And that's not the midfield that I put in my predicted team. And I just felt like we lost it in midfield. We didn't create. I was told that Sangare was going to look like a new signing. I'm afraid he looked like Sangare.
Really?
Yeah. There were a couple of times he gave the ball away, did suicide passes that put us in real trouble and had to be bailed out by his teammates. I'm not saying drop him for the next game, but I think you are definitely looking with some kind of filtered spectacles at him because you don't see the bad and you're in confirmation bias with him, I'm afraid. I wouldn't drop him yet. I wouldn't bin him yet. I want him to come good. I want to defend the player. Last quick points. Very annoyed not to see Jota Silva even as a sub.
I agree with you on that.
Should have been sent off. He should have got a second yellow because he totally hacked a guy down and didn't play the ball when he was already on a yellow. He was lucky to be on. And also, I think we were a bit lucky getting that goal ruled out by VAR. So I feel there was a lot of swings and roundabouts from last season. You know,
how can we be lucky? If you're offside, you're offside. It's binary.
No. If look, how many goals did the opposition get ruled out from VAR last season? We got a goal ruled out, and Williams was lucky to play the 90 minutes there. They were targeting him towards the end of the second half, and all their chances were coming from that side. And that's where I thought the goal was going to come from. So I think that Michael Oliver has given us a little bit of karma from last year with Bolly being sent off. He could and probably should have sent off Nico Williams. He thought, I'm going to let that one go. Right? A little bit of karma. I think we should be positive about the deal that we got out the officiating from that game. So weakness from set pieces is still there. Although not aerial, it seems. It was like that one that was disallowed. It was a low one. I don't know. I mean, I listed a couple of positives. Murillo, business as usual. So worries about Murillo, I think, were misplaced. Definitely saved a goal at the end. Anderson was class. Must start. Our set pieces look better. In particular, that one that Hudson-Odoi took that Bolly nearly scored from. That was a very good corner. Taiwo looked good, I think, when he came on, just because of where he was playing, off the shoulder of the defender. Wood was way too deep. When Awonyi came on,
I agree with that.
there was one point where the defense opened up and he was in the middle and he was crying for the ball to be played to his feet, and they just didn't. And it was annoying. But actually, Awonyi looked better than I expected, and I would like to see more of him. Now, one last point.
Stop.
About the Sells long balls. That is because we were expecting a press from Bournemouth. So I think that was a tactical decision. That's all my notes. There you go.
Rob, he came from absolutely slated in the chat.
Anyway, they can ring me now and they can complain at me.
Guys, get on and just have a go at him. Let's start bringing up some of the guests.
I'm ready.
Let's bring on Matt. How you doing, Matt?
I'm not too bad. Are you all right?
Good, mate. Good. A little deflated, but I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. It did feel like a loss today, even though it was a draw.
Yeah.
Even though I think it was kind of a correct result if you look on the swings of it. But yeah, at the start of this season, from the pre-season, we looked all right. I thought, okay, we look a bit more fresh. But today, from 70 minutes on, we just look so tired. I thought, God, what's happened here? It's kind of the same of last season where we start really well. We get that goal, and then we just kind of sit back, allow the press, seem to gas out, and they seem to get that equaliser. I just don't quite understand what's gone off there.
Yeah, and it was the whole team, wasn't it, Matt? It wasn't like one or two players that seemed to gas.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not picking any of the players out. I thought all the players played well in the first half. I thought that we sat off them in the second half, and I think all the players gassed out. So it's not quite.
To be fair though, Matt, it is the first game after pre-season, so they may not be up to full fitness yet.
But if you're not fit after having a rest, because you're talking about players who, apart from 3 or 4, have gone to the Copa America. They should have had a good rest. We should have had a good pre-season. It should have been that bonding and getting them up to that match fitness. That's what the Olympiacos game. That's the first game to get back into that full swing. And I just thought, it just seemed like last season where it was just, again, troubles again with the set plays. Even though we didn't technically concede from a set play, I was still worried about them. What was I going to say? I don't understand the substitutions. The substitutions really confused me today. I thought that we was getting on them at the wings. I thought we were breaking them down at the wings with Aina and Hudson-Odoi especially. We're breaking them down. And I think as soon as we took Hudson-Odoi off, we lost that link up into the box and we just sat back. And I think he's not seen or got the big name agenda with Morgan Gibbs-White. He should have come off today. I love Morgan Gibbs-White, but I think he should have come off today for Anderson. See what he can do in that centre, because I'm not quite sure what Gibbs-White was doing today. He was trying to sit back, trying to get the ball, but then giving it away really quickly, but then not getting into that space where Yates was going in. Yates was in the position I want Gibbs-White in, where he's taking on them shots, but Yates was in that position.
Matt, what are your thoughts on, you briefly mentioned it, but I agree that we came out and had a good first half, but then it seemed to revert to last season where we go 1 goal ahead and all of a sudden it's like we come back out in low block, which we know never works because as soon as we concede, that's the game changed again. What would you have liked to have seen us do after half time?
Again, I don't understand why we're changing it too much. I think we're trying to change the game too much. Just play how we're playing. Get that second, third goal. We need to demolish a team when we are so above them at this. During that game, in the first half, we were so much above them. Apart from one corner, we were so much we could get that second, third goal, but we just didn't press that. And then when we come out, I don't know if it was the Danilo thing. I know it's been confirmed he broke his ankle, so
yeah,
I wish him all the best. But yeah, I don't know if the players are just thinking about that. I think the Nico Williams, he was a bit lucky to. I don't think it was a guaranteed a second yellow, but I think he was a bit lucky to be on the pitch. So I think that was on the back of his mind, and they could sense that, pushing that. And I think those substitutions are a lot better to get off than someone who is playing quite well, like a Callum Hudson-Odoi and Elanga, to bring them off.
Matt, do you not think that one of our problems is that although Chris Wood is a very good finisher, he spends half of his time back in midfield, which I've never really understood. And when we do get the few counterattacks each game, it's almost like we're in a false nine situation where Morgan Gibbs-White is trying to run through and score because our striker's back on the halfway line next to the CMs.
Yeah, it's one of those where we know Wood hasn't got the pace, so he cannot sit back. He needs to be up there because he hasn't got that pace.
That's a management thing, isn't it? I presume the management are letting them. We saw exactly the same last season. Why is Wood not staying up the pitch?
I think he is getting. It's almost like a game where he wants to get involved. He wants to get the ball, touch the ball, and get into that. Try and start something, but it's not really working. He's not. I don't think he's that player where he just sits up there and is fine being at the game until he gets that. He wants to be involved.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Rob, what do you think about Matt saying? Any questions for Matt?
No, I mean, I kind of agree with what he said, but I mean, Matt, do you feel that there was a conscious decision to sit back and defend, or do you think that we just lost any ideas of how to attack?
It was the substitutions, a couple of forced substitutions with Aina coming off, being injured, trying to see out the game, which I never really liked, but that's another substitution. So we kind of, with those feelings of, okay, we've got something to hold on to, it's always going to sit back, invite pressure, and that's when mistakes happen. And it was a poor clearance, and they capitalise on it.
Matt, this was going to be my next question. What subs would you have made going into the second half?
Well, I would have kept Callum Hudson-Odoi on, and I would have took Gibbs-White off and put Anderson in that midfield. Keep him free rein. I probably would have kept Elanga on a little bit longer, see if he stretches out that play a bit. If we want, I would have took Sangare off at the centre. I know he needs more game time, but he looks so tired.
Yeah.
I would have put the Dominguez in that position, and let him run, have that free rein, and let them two in the centre dictate how we play out wide. And
what did you think of Yates coming on? Because I mean, Yates had quite a good game. But the natural substitution when Danilo unfortunately went off, for me, would have been to bring Dominguez on in that position. Obviously, he brought Yates on. To be fair to Yates, I thought he had a good game, but he's not the same type of player as Dominguez. So what do you think about that decision?
I think Yates, he kind of likes Yates. He's made that pretty clear that when it comes to a choice, he will bring on Yates. So I have no problem against that. he's obviously sees something in him, and it paid off today. So it's not like it was a forced substitution. It wasn't something. Well, obviously, wasn't with the game plan because it was so early on. So it's a player who likes to have the ball. He doesn't really like to have the ball. Yates doesn't. He likes to play that off quick. So it's whereas Dominguez likes the ball. He likes to try and pick the pass out. So they're two different players. So obviously he's prefers the Yates approach.
Yeah. Last question, Matt, before I let you go. Got a couple more backstage to bring on. Are you feeling more or less confident after today?
I don't know why. I wasn't looking forward to today. I was going down to the train. I don't know why. I think I was still.
You had that feeling.
I was still, no. I think it was still from last season. I was just still tired from last season. I think
you and the players.
I think that just the bullshit with PSR, which I hope we never have to speak of again, it's just took it out. And today, I think playing against Bournemouth, it was just such a. Bournemouth have a shit fan base. They really do.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring their banter of having chants off. So the crowd was a bit more quiet today. As a first game, a season opener, it was a bit quiet, and it was just not that feeling of yes, we're here, let's get into it, and it just dulled off a little bit. And I just think it will get better. I can see good things. I think I wish we would have got those 3 points. I hate always having to say, "Oh, it's not a must-win yet, not a must-win yet." I feel like these 3 points are always important to the later on in the season. It's always, why do we have to wait until the last 5 games to get these points? It's more important we beat Southampton next week than freaking. Yeah, down the line. I feel like we need to really kick on.
Matt, just another question. So there's about 13 days left until the transfer window closes. Who would you bring in before that window does close?
Crypto, you're really quiet. I don't know if it's just for me.
What position do you think we need to fill
before
the end of the window?
I think the only real position we probably need is a striker. I think just to challenge that. It's Wood and Taiwo. They're kind of two different players. Wood's got that finishing ability where he just seems to pop up in that. Taiwo's got that strength where he'll hold up the ball, pass it through, and somehow bobble it into the goal. We need something mashed like that together.
Are you happy with the backup we have at left back position? Obviously, if someone like Aina gets injured, what are your thoughts on bringing on Toffolo?
I've got no problem with Toffolo. He knows what he is. He is a backup. So it's not a position where I feel like we definitely need it in case Aina gets injured. If we do that, we'd be having so many more problems of trying to have a massive squad, trying to keep all these players happy. I feel like Toffolo knows he's got that role. I feel like I don't know what's happened to Richards. I don't know if his legs fell off, but
it feels like he's going to Olympiacos, mate. Honestly,
that's one thing. What's been annoying me with these transfers. Are these Forest transfers or are these Olympiacos transfers? I got to say that. That is one thing what has annoyed me this season.
I think with these transfers, it's like they sort of get their second or their backup choice in place, and then they're still trying to sign someone slightly better than that right up to the deadline, and if it comes off, then the first one they sign goes to Olympiacos. So I almost feel like when they have to sort of finalise a 25-man squad at the transfer deadline, that if they've not signed a left back, there's a chance that Richards might be in there. But if they do sign a left back, clearly he's going to have another season in Greece.
Yeah. Listen, Matt, you're getting loads of love from the chat. Apparently you took a lot of sense. Maybe I should ditch these panelists and have you on as the regular, Matt. But we've got loads waiting backstage, so I want to give them a chance to have their say. As always, we appreciate you coming on, bro. And no doubt we'll talk again very soon, mate.
All right, you too. Much love
Cheers.
to Danilo. Please get well soon.
Yeah, much love to Danilo, and hopefully it's a quick recovery. Speak soon, Matt. All the best, bud.
Bye.
Bye. What a top bloke. Speaks a lot of sense, more than you two do. I can tell you that much. Right, we've got biggest fan. We'll have you on next, and Brody. Then we got the legend, the GOAT is backstage as well. So we'll have a chat with all of those in just a second. Quick reminder: hit that like button, subscribe if you are new to Forest Fan TV, and jump on stage. The link's pinned in the chat. Come have your say. We'll give everyone a few minutes, see how they're all feeling. So. Rob, I need to grab a drink, so can you say hi to me for the biggest fan? How you doing, bud?
Mohammed, you're on mute.
You're on mute. Has he gone away from?
There he is.
He's there. Oh
no, he's gone.
Bring him back later. Bring him back later.
All right, jump back in. We'll get Brody on while we're waiting. Brody, how are you, bud?
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back.
It's about I hate feeling like I'm not giving people enough of a chance, but in relation to the end of last season as well, I'm leaning towards getting rid of Nuno at the minute because I just
big words like for one game, Brody. Why would you say that?
Well, it's in-game management. I think is shocking. As in, like, we always go 1-up, and 1-up isn't a good lead to hold, especially when we're in a relegation battle. And we always go defensive, and it never really works. I feel like whenever we go 1-up, we go defensive and we concede. And the substitutions as well, and not necessarily today, but as a whole, especially last season, it was shocking at the best of times.
Yeah.
So who would you have liked to see come on and when? Because remember, as Matt just pointed out, 2 of the substitutions were forced on Nuno today.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I was screaming at my telly when Yates was coming on, but he was probably the best performer today. I'd give him my man of the match. But it's not necessarily today, more last season, and obviously anything can happen. We've still got 37 games to go, sorry. So yeah, it's like I'm just worried about that because the subs that he makes never really changed the game for us.
I understand your point, Brody. I mean, if there's 2 things I'd criticise Nuno for, 1, it's going low block after we go a goal up, and 2, it's his substitutions. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say Nuno out, but I can understand why you're frustrated with him. What did you think about Morgan Gibbs-White today? Because I thought he needed to be the first one to come off, really.
Yeah, I thought it was crap. It's for some reason his evasiveness of players is really good. Like, he just shakes them away. And his dribbling today was, as per, really good. But his passing, his shooting, his crossing, everything just got blocked. Like he was taking too much time on the ball. And maybe it was like first game nerves or something. You know, he's got big expectations, being like the heartbeat of the team for the past 2 years. But it's just nothing was connecting. And it was just annoying to watch when a player builds a reputation at the club. It's like he's untouchable and he refuses to be subbed off.
And just going back to your earlier comment, Ez has just asked the question, if Nuno had gone, for example, who would you have wanted to replace him?
Wait, sorry to interrupt. I missed the start. You weren't a change manager, Brody? Am I just threw myself up to speed?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it because of the just in-game management really annoys me. I mean, I love our transfer window. It's been so much more composed, but his in-game management annoys me so much.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's you can understand there'd be frustration. People leaning towards Nuno out or Nuno in. It's your prerogative. You're always welcome to have that opinion on here. I do sense some frustration, but I would ask, do you think maybe just jumping the gun a little because we still need a striker, don't we? Do you think that would be enough, or do you think fundamentally the problem is the substitutions and things like that, and it's just not going to change?
We definitely need a striker, yeah, because my main issue with Wood is when he kind of just stands in the midfield or stands next to the two centre-backs, it creates no space for any other player. Morgan has to work in really intricate confines at times because obviously when a striker runs in behind, the defenders tend to go with him. So then it creates like pockets of space, and Wood just standing there asking for the ball. It doesn't help anyone but himself, and not even himself at the best of times. So it doesn't really make sense to me. But the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards Nuno out is when we were linked with Marco Silva, I was really gassed because obviously he did work with Marinakis at Olympiacos, but I thought it was, you know, a reachable manager, and I feel like he's held together a pretty bang average Fulham side really well. Like I think now they've lost João Paulinho. I do really rate Smith Rowe, but he's just gone in.
Yeah.
The majority of their starting lineup's pretty crap, but they get good results. I mean, they thrashed us 5-0 last season. In our combined 11, I put way more Forest players in. So how's he managed to do that?
But you could argue that Nuno beat him 3-1. People lost 5-0 to him, and Nuno beat him 3-1. I do agree that I think Silva is a better manager. I'd be tempted. But I just think, your opinion is obviously completely valid. Is there a bit of disappointment that we threw the lead away today? Because yet again, Forest are doing what Forest do best. We lost the most points from winning positions last season, and already we're technically top of that chart, I guess. I don't know what the other results are. I don't think anyone lost from leading. So it's the same problems, isn't it, Brody? It's just we can't iron them out.
Brody, what do you think about Nuno not picking any of the new signings in the starting lineup?
Good question.
I thought Milenkovic would have started if he didn't get
that
weird.
There was a reason for that one.
Yeah.
I thought he would have. But I don't necessarily think anyone else apart from maybe Anderson was brought in to be a guaranteed starter or be necessarily challenging starting positions game in, game out. And it's more comfortable and safer to go with the players which are going to, at worst, put up a decent performance.
I can understand your frustration because it's almost like it's day one of the season and it's the same mistakes as last season and nothing has changed. And if it hasn't changed now, will it change in 10 games' time? Or will it just be the same all season again? I mean, I wouldn't personally call for Nuno out at the moment, but I can see your frustration because everything that we hoped would change has basically reverted back to the end of last season where we go low block after going 1-0 up.
I don't think we went low block.
For about 20 minutes, though, we sat so far back.
I just think they were knackered. I was surprised to see them being so knackered, and they just got deeper and defended the lead. But I don't think it was a tactical.
It's like they almost don't try to kill the game off. They don't have that aggression to get forward and try and get another goal. It's almost like, I don't know, that they're trying to play possession football to stop the other team from scoring, but it just doesn't work. And it's never worked really since we've come back up to the Premier League. It's just something that doesn't work for our team. What we're good at, and we saw this last season in a few games, is going and trying to kill the game off. Go and score 2 or 3 goals, then you're safe, right? Then you're safe unless you put Joe Worrell on, but then you're safe. What we do is revert to this sitting back, trying to control the possession, and it just doesn't work. And it's game after game after game after game. It's first game of the season, and it's happening again. But yeah, I mean, just to clarify, I'm not Nuno out, but I can understand Brody's frustrations.
So, Brody, after today's game, I'll finish off with the same question I asked the other lot. Are you feeling more or less confident about the season?
Definitely less. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the same problems. And I thought maybe with that break with new players, it'd be different problems that are maybe easier to address. But if I'm seeing the same stuff game in, game out after a 2-month break, it doesn't fill me with confidence, no.
Yeah. Well, let's see how you're feeling after the Southampton game, mate. If we go win there 3-0, hopefully your spirits are lifted and everything is hunky-dory again, bro. But I want to thank you for coming on. Appreciate you sharing that point of view. We love hearing every side of the fan base and what they're thinking, good, bad, ugly, positive, negative, whatever it is. So thank you, mate. Appreciate you coming on. And give us a shout after the Southampton game. See how you're feeling.
Cheers.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Thanks, Brody.
It's interesting, isn't it, boys? I'll bring the GOAT on in just a second, but I'm nowhere near Nuno out. I'm very happy with Nuno, but I do understand his mentality of, because I do feel a bit deflated today, and we haven't lost. And I don't know, chat, are you feeling the same way or not? Is there a little sense of deflation with you boys after today? Because if we came out with a 1-0 win, honestly, it would be sitting here. If Tuffalo had cleared the ball better, it hadn't hit Murillo, or Sels had made a better save, we'd be sitting here saying 1-0 job done, 3 points in the bag, move on. I know this is football, but
it's such a risky tactic, isn't it? And this is what got us into trouble last season. We don't seem to have that final bit where I'm not obsessed with low block. I hate when we're on the attack. If you look at the first half today, we were constantly on the attack. We had total control of that first half. And then we come back out after half time. I don't know what was said at half time, but we come back out and we sit back and we let them attack us. And we don't need to do that. Bournemouth were not playing well today. We should have won that game quite easily. And we've come out with a draw. And we're in the Premier League. We don't want to be in a position the same as last season where, we should win games, but we don't win games because we know what will happen. We'll end up in a relegation fight again. I think there just needs to be more positivity on the pitch, more belief that the team can get the job done, because to me, it doesn't look like they believe they can actually go ahead and win the game comfortably.
Yeah. Just a quick shout out to Noah with the 199. How do I join the phone in? I've only got my phone. Literally, you can join on your phone, mate. So if you click the link that's pinned in the chat, there, click it on. It will take you into probably Chrome, depending on what your phone is. Just allow your mic, allow your cam, and then you'll be on. It'd be good to have a chat with you, bro. Thank you so much for the 199. I hope you didn't get banned at the City Ground. All right, let's bring on an OG to the channel here. We haven't spoken to him for ages. It's the GOAT himself. Salam, bro. How are you doing?
Walaikum salam. I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. A little deflated, but I can see positivity, man.
I'm not deflated. I'm quite optimistic.
Good.
I don't think we played that bad. I can see why everyone's saying it's the same mistakes, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I'm quite optimistic and I'm happy because I feel like there was a lot of good signs. I can see why everyone's pissed off because it's the same habits, 85th minute, 90th minute, we're letting a goal in. But if I look at the goal, I'll be honest with you, bro, the way it hit Murillo, I don't feel like it was a massive defensive error. I don't feel like it was a huge concern for us to all be worried because that could have happened to anyone. It could have happened to Van Dijk. It could have happened to Ruben Diaz. Do you know what I mean? It could have happened to anyone. And Murillo, 2 minutes later, pulled off an amazing, defensive save for us again. So, do you know what I mean? I think our biggest issue is we don't have a pacey striker with Wood. Like Awani is not 100%. I feel like Elanga and Hudson-Odoi have got a lot of pace. Gibbs White, and I feel like them three players up top can create a lot. But Wood, for me, he's too slow. He can't create with them lot. They don't work together the way. If we had a good, like Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, someone fast enough, I feel like this is the reason why, even if you look at his goal today, Yatesy took the shot, he hit the rebound. Yeah, it's a good finisher, but he hasn't got the pace to go with the players on the wing. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if we had that player, we could finish games 2-0, 3-0. I feel like we get a 1 goal up, and then this is why everyone goes back defensive, because it's like, ooh, we got lucky with that goal. It is a mindset thing, and I feel like we kind of set ourselves up with that, because as soon as we get a goal, I feel like we're playing with 11 defenders, and I feel like how Harry Kane was in the Euros, bro. He wasn't playing like a striker. He was playing like a cam, like a centre mid, just running down. He was literally stopping at the halfway line, and I feel like Wood's doing the same thing, and you can see it. And I feel like Nuno's happy with the 1-0 at half time, but I feel like at the same time, what can Nuno say to him? Run. He can't run. He hasn't got the legs to run.
Do you think there's a case for Awani to start away at Southampton?
The thing is, the biggest concern for me right now is, Awani and Elliot Anderson, they're quite injury prone. You know, I was kind of happy he didn't start them because it's the start of the season. I think we need to build them in slowly. That's why I'm optimistic, even with you know, some of our other players like Omar Richards. I feel like he will get a run in as well, but I feel like these players have got too much of a history with injuries, and Nuno doesn't want to take the risk, because if you look at our team, we haven't got that much depth. We have got depth, but I'm on about in terms of injury-prone players, we've not got the greatest of, do you know what I mean, bench. So we just need to be careful the way we manage our games, and I feel like this is the reason why Nuno can't make him like the subs right now he wants to, because he's probably looking at his bench and he's probably thinking of these lot belonging to QMC, what can I do? So if you look, you know, and then when we've got Jota Silva and Sosa and these players coming in, none of them are Prem proven. So, you know, it's like we're not buying players that are Prem caliber that we can come in and finish off games. Like even our defenders like Milinkovic, he's not Prem proven. He's good, he's a tank, but he's not proven. Do you know what I mean? Like the depth that I'm even looking at, we don't even have that much depth to finish off the games. Like the players we're buying are all international, Brazilian, Paraguayan, but they're not Prem proven. Like if you want to finish,
what you're asking a bit much. I mean, because like only the top 6 get to take their pick of everybody else's Prem proven players. I mean, if you look at, we've been trying to kind of copy the Brighton model. They've got a conveyor belt of people coming in from South America and all sorts of places that are not Prem proven, but they've managed to make a success of them. I'm not sure that we're necessarily in the position where we get to take successful Premier League proven players from other teams.
Yeah, but Rob, we haven't recruited in the one position that we need the most, which is striker. Chris Wood is a great finisher, but as we've said so many times, unless he's getting you know the right play around him, which isn't always going to happen, we're lost. It turns into almost like a false 9. Because like Goat says, he can't keep up with the play. I'm not blaming him. I think Wood is brilliant. And there was a stat earlier that said something like in 16 starts last season, he scored 11 goals, which is a fantastic return. But it's only one type of play. If you can't get the ball to Chris Wood, who's scoring the goals?
And also, bro, if you're gonna like, the thing is, if you're gonna buy 7 players, you don't have to buy 7 Prem proven players. If you're gonna buy 5 players from Brazil, that's fine, but at least buy 1 Prem player that's got that sort of history. Do you know what I mean? That he's comfortable with the Prem. Buying 7 players from Brazil.
He might.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to buy 7 players from Brazil, what my point is that's a high risk. I don't mind you buying 4, but at least try buy 1 or 2 from the Premier League. So we've got a bit of comfortability within the squad that we know, you know, this player, you know, like a Milner, someone a bit old school that is a bit of a workhorse, someone, you know, the club feels comfortable. Do you know what I mean? When we're looking at our bench and we've got Moreira, De Silva, Sosa, do you know what I mean? It's like, they might be good for the future, or they might be, you know, good with stats, but where's the proven quality? Do you know what I mean? How are we supposed to?
It comes at a cost, though, because we did have Lingard and Origi and people like that who've got those Premier League games under their belt, and they really didn't set the world.
Yeah, it does, but at the end of the day, we're not shy of money. We're spending the money, but I feel like we're spending the money, but it's like we're trying to we're buying players like Jota Silva and Sosa. That's 2 wingers, and there's links of one of them maybe getting loaned out to Olympiacos. So them 2 players total cost us 25 million. We could have got 1 proven player for 25 million. 25 million is a decent amount. They're on about Nketiah is going to cost 25 to 30 mil. So would you rather buy an Nketiah for 25 or a Sosa and Silva who you're looking at loaning out to Olympiacos?
Bro, I'd rather put you up front than Nketiah, man. I think he's useless. Useless.
I'll be honest with you, we need a striker, bro.
I agree.
And possibly a goalkeeper, because I don't know why we've got Miguel, 6'8". Good thing is he was on the bench, so maybe Nuno is trying to bring him in slowly. But then we got links with Ramsdale, so I don't know. I'm optimistic. I feel like Nuno does know he wants a striker. I feel like we need to back him as fans. I don't think it's end of the world yet. Yeah, it pissed me off, not gonna lie. You know, the fact that we conceded. But after watching what Yatesy said in his interview, the last 15 minutes we did give up. It was a lack of, it's like we lost concentration. And, you know, he thought it could have been fatigue, complacency. So I love the fact that Yatesy just put his hands up and said, you know, we could have been better.
Surely that the blame for that falls on Nuno, because he's not making the subs and the correct subs at the right time. He's either making
what could he have done better, bro? Because that goal wasn't a subs issue. The way that bounced off Murillo, for me, I don't think.
If he wants to play football where you go 1 goal up and then try and hold on for the rest of the match, he needs to be refreshing his defensive line, his centre backs, etc., etc.
I don't agree with that though, Ben. I don't think we were trying to hold on for the 1 goal. I mean, you got to think we had the Bolly chance. Yates had a chance. Taiwo should have buried that header. We were still creating chances.
We should have beaten.
Yeah, I agree with what Yates said. It looked like they fatigued, which surprises me because we've all said what a great preseason has been. So surely fitness levels.
Yeah, but if you're coming down to your last 5 or 10 minutes when we've conceded, if they're fatiguing, you need to get them off the pitch.
Yeah, I think the problem was with the defense was Nico Williams being on that yellow card, because that's the side they got in on for their goal. And he was very tentative with his tackling after that yellow card. We were warned a couple of times before he was got in at. So yeah, I would say that would have been the strategic change that needed to be. Maybe Eric De Silva, maybe he thinks he's not ready for the Premier League or what have you.
Though, wouldn't it? Because what a pressure cooker situation to make your debut in. You know, I think one of the problems is, and I need to understand whether the rules work like this. You get 3 substitution phases, don't you? You get 5 subs, but 3 phases. So phase 1 and phase 2 were dictated on us by injuries. So we were stuck there on about what minute did Aina go off?
50.
Is there not an injury rule though?
No, it's only concussion.
Concussion rule.
Right, so basically, look at it this way: from 54 minutes, we are only allowed 1 more batch of subs. So the problem is that if you do that on, say, 60 minutes, you've then got half an hour plus injury time that if somebody gets a knock and has to come off, you then can't replace them. And I remember 2 games under Cooper where we finished with 10 men, Villa and Brentford away, because he'd used up all his substitution phases. So in a way, it was actually quite brave of Nuno to make those 2 changes on 73 minutes, because that meant that we had 17 minutes plus injury time, where if anyone had got injured, they couldn't have been subbed. And Nico was injured, actually, right at the end. So I just feel like I wouldn't go too hard.
You're not playing for the inevitability then, rather than actually playing the game. Are you worrying about a problem that may happen?
2 out of the 3 sub phases were reactive. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think that I don't think it's a thing to go for Nuno on. I would more go for him on not picking any of the new signings.
But I think also, bro, if we look at it, that them subs with the Yatesy coming on got us the goal. If the Yatesy never took this shot, I would never, got that. So in one essence, that actually helped us get that goal. Because if Danilo was on, maybe it could have ended 0-0, for all we know. So
what do you think of this comment? Because we've discussed before how Nico plays really well as a wing back. He's brilliant going forward. He's brilliant getting up down the line, getting crosses in, etc. Do you think he's as good as a defensive right back who's also trying to get up the wing?
It's a bit like Alexander-Arnold Trent, innit? He's not necessarily. He'd be better as a right wing back because how good his crossing is, and he's not got the best defensive capabilities. I'll be honest with you. I think Nico Williams has got a good pass on him, and he's got a really good shot on him because I watch him in training, and the kid can shoot. I feel like with our players, like not just Nico Williams, I think a lot of them, I feel like it's a mindset thing. We don't shoot as much as we should. If you actually look at the way we play, it's like we try to hold the ball and force passes. No one has that odd cracking shot from 30 yards. Why not? Why not? When you look at overall our game stats, we have 9 shots, 3 on target. Do you know what I mean? And if you look at other teams, they'll have more shots than us. And today we were at home. The last 20 minutes of that game looked like we were away. So players like Nico Williams, last year, one thing I loved was, the left back we had, from Arsenal, he did a lot of amazing work with our left wing. Do you know when they started linking up?
Yeah,
Bro, that looked unreal. That looked phenomenal. So I feel like Nico Williams maybe needs, that sort of relationship partner on the wing as well. I feel like we need to make these sort of things happen within the team, start gelling players, knowing what's going on. But again,
the thing is though, Aina and Williams are being asked a hell of a lot because they're playing a 4-back, and there's this massive expectation that they go forward and they create chances and they put balls in, and then all the fans are saying, "Why aren't you sitting back and defending?" And they're running constantly up and down the pitch, up and down the pitch. So there has got to be that's where the manager does have to come on, and he has to swap them out because they're going to be running miles in that game. They're going to be completely fatigued. Yes, Aina went off because of injury, but then he's leaving Williams on to try and do the whole 90 minutes, and he's just running up and down the wing. And
that's the expectation. Yeah. That's the expectation from fullbacks now. I want to get Noah on.
Yeah, but it's not a wing back formation. He's basically
even in the back four.
All over the pitch.
I wasn't convinced by Montiel or Tavares, but I think today's highlighted we've got a bit of a lack of depth now at fullback.
Yeah, but Rob, Montiel and Tavares were the same. They were good on the attack, but they weren't very good at coming back and making.
What I'm saying is we've got to accept that they've gone, and now we've actually lost manpower in those positions, and we've actually got a lack of depth, especially if Aina's injured.
Yeah, but we've got Richards on the bench. We've just signed De Silva. We have options. It's up to Nuno to put them on the pitch.
To be honest with you, I think we need another left back. We need another Aina, someone that can rotate with left and right. Because if we just sign a solid left back, and let's say Aina's injured,
we basically need Ren and Lodi back.
I think we need someone with a left foot and a right foot, basically, because even that Moreira, he looks so young. Is he really good enough to step up to the Prem? When I watch him, I feel like, is this the reason why Nuno's not starting him? And I feel like another concern for me is the fatigueness, because looking at Nico, looking at the amount of players that were hopping off, is just slightly concerning me. Why is so many, of our players fatiguing? Because it's not like our pre-season we smashed everyone 6-0, and we because it looked like the pre-season to me went quite well. Yes, we were undefeated. It looked quite relaxed. It wasn't like any of them were going crazy. So for the first game at Bournemouth, it's just slightly concerning why they're so fatigued. And especially with Danilo coming off with a serious injury. Luckily, we've got enough cover in midfield. But I think maybe Nuno now has to really step up his search, I'd say, in strike and left back position, and possibly maybe a goalkeeper. But I'm still optimistic because we're still undefeated from pre-season. Based on pre-season, we never lost. Today, we didn't lose. So I think we all just need to back Nuno a bit more. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, it's a long season. I don't think, it's that bad. It's annoying. I'm frustrated, don't get me wrong, but it could be worse. Do you know what I mean? Look at Everton. Did they lose 3-0 or 4-0? Do you know what I mean?
3-0, yeah.
So, it could be worse. At the end of the day, the way I look at it is we're undefeated going into this. We need to stay positive. And Southampton next week, I think we'll do a job on them. And I think the closing 2-3 days of transfer market, I think that will be quite important. And I do feel like we will get a striker, because Marinakis, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's going to mess about. I think he knows we need a striker. So, and I think we're quite blessed to have an owner like him. So I'm quite, like I said, I'm up here, and there's no need to be that dull. Guys, I think we should also be quite positive. You know what I mean? We've made some good signings. So looks decent.
But there is one question that's on the chat's lips, bro. I gotta ask you this.
What is that shit?
Last question. Has the GOAT stolen Ant's wardrobe? What is going on there, bro?
Do you know what? I'll be honest, I just like the shirt. If I see a good kit, I just wear it. Don't get me wrong, I am a diehard Forest fan, but sometimes I just like, it's a nice summer top, that's all it is.
Let's hope Derby don't do one like that, then, bro.
No.
Listen, bro, do not leave it this long to come back on. You're getting loads of positive comments in the chat. I hope you've been well since we last spoke, and it's good to see you again, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, my brother. I hope everyone else is good. I hope you're good. Your family's good as well, bro.
Alhamdulillah, man. All is well. And it's been a cracking chat with you. And we'll speak to you soon, bro.
Inshallah, brother, man. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you again, bro. All the best. Bye.
Okay.
Interesting. I think he kind of summed up my mood. Like, he's very positive about what's going on, but there is a little bit of frustration because it's Forest doing Forest things, isn't it, boys?
Well, I mean, the first half was brilliant. I thought we completely overran them. I thought we would go on and win the game. We looked that good, but it's same old Forest. It's what happens, and this is where people get frustrated. You know, losing, conceding with a few minutes left, same problems, defensive slip up, etc., etc. If I know that it didn't happen, but if that goal wasn't an inch offside, it would have also been another goal conceded from a set piece as the first goal of the season.
I almost feel if we were going to concede, Rob, that was the better goal to concede because we'd had plenty of energy still in the tank and maybe could have turned it over. That one was just too late, the second one.
I don't know. It just felt like another game from last season, but we need to just take a step back. And that is actually our first point at home against Bournemouth in 3 attempts. So
and our first point on the opening day of season in 3 years.
Well, let's just take it and move on.
Exactly.
We haven't seen the new players yet. There's still plenty to find out, and we've still got the transfer deadline. So
yeah.
Let's get the next caller.
This is a really good point, though. I think they've got to have the belief that when they're 1-0 up, they can go on and score 1 or 2 more goals. They've got to have that belief that they can go on and win the game. Because it doesn't. When they come out in their interviews and they say, "Oh, we fell apart in the last 15 minutes. We were fatigued." It sounds like they don't have quite that motivation to think we can win this, take the bull by the horns, and just go and get the game won.
Yeah. Let me have a quick shout out to the legend, okay, Simon F in the chat with the £5. Respect to FFTV and the callers tonight. Great to be back. So missed this. Yeah. It's just we love it, don't we? We love it. Thank you so much, Si, for all your support, mate. We really do love you on here, bro. So, okay, let's bring on our next caller. I think that's perfect timing. And this guy, I'm looking forward to chatting to Noah because, boys, he's been in the chat so much. His debut call. Show him some love in the chat. Noah, how you doing, bud?
Oh, mate. I don't even know after that.
Are you still? You didn't get yourself banned today, did you?
No, thank God.
Okay, good.
But point to point, I just take it because obviously just against Bournemouth, I hate Bournemouth because just every time they come to our ground, they just turn into prime Barcelona, and then everyone else they play, they just I don't even know. But at least we didn't lose. That's all I can say.
Well, give me your positives from there. I'm feeling a little bit down for some reason. What was your positive take from today? And chat, give us a positive in the chat. What are you taking from there that's positive? Go on.
I mean, Sangare, that was a shock. I thought he played really well today. Like Sangare and Yates when he came on, obviously you got a big. Obviously, Danilo, he wasn't playing bad until, obviously, the ankle, which, obviously, got to give, hopefully, a speedy recovery for him. But, because it didn't seem, from where I was sat, it looked a bit nasty. And I just saw, when ref was asking medics to come on and Gibbs White was screaming, I was like, oh, God, here we go. It wasn't nice to watch, but just... Yeah, and I just thought, I mean, apart from Wood's this is no offence to Wood, like, when he scored, he didn't really do a lot after that. And I just thought, when second half came, I just thought Tyro should have come on a bit earlier.
Yeah.
I think he should have come on when... And I don't see why Elanga came off. I just don't understand that one. I still think Hudson-Odoi should have come off instead of Elanga because, like, what annoys me with Hudson-Odoi is, like last season, he used to cut inside and shoot. This season, he always passed, like, we'll start this season and pre-season, he always goes and passes it. And it's like, if you pass it, well, typical Forest. We're not really good with passes, but it's just I just don't understand it. Like, having cut inside his shoe, like we know he's capable of doing it. I just don't understand.
Yeah, there was
why
a couple of moments, wasn't there, where I thought he was going to shoot. What did you think of Chow today, Rob?
Yeah, I felt like they'd got a number on him, really, because it almost felt a couple of times that they were doubling up on him and they were ready for him to do his move. Do you know what I mean? And now, I mean, Chelsea did that against him as well. They kept on trying to force him onto the outside, and he actually put in some really good left-footed crosses in that game. But I just don't feel that he did that today. But I was very disappointed to see him go off. I think Noah's made a good point, by the way. I think our quality of passing today was poor. I think that was probably the number one problem. Gibbs White, I'd love to see his stats for completed passes and attempted passes in that game.
Bear with me, I'll get them up.
It's negative, I would think. And to be honest, I felt like Wood was playing like an extra midfielder, and he passed it to the opposition too many times. So I don't know. I just felt it was like it was a rusty performance.
I think one person we should give a shout out to today is Bolly. I thought Bolly was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Bolly and Murillo.
He was solid. And I really disappointed not to see that header going from Cho's corner. I thought it was a very nicely worked corner. So on the positive, our defending set pieces was no better, but our set pieces that we took, I think, looked more dangerous.
Yeah, I thought they were a lot.
I think when Milenkovic comes in, he's a bit more of a set piece specialist in terms of defending corners, etc.
Yeah,
and he's 6'5".
Louise wants to know what you're eating, Noah.
Eating a pizza and some chips.
What toppings you got on it?
Wholesome.
Literally, I just got a margarita, and don't call me fat. I've got 2 small chips.
It's got to be done, mate. It's got to be done. So on the passing accuracy for Morgan Gibbs White, it was 77%. The lowest was Chris Wood at 60%. Anderson at 55. Anderson.
Really?
Yeah.
Anderson was good.
He was good, but there you go. Stats don't tell you the whole story. But I do think, just touching on your point about Chris Wood, I think my biggest frustration was the ball wasn't sticking to him from the long punts from Sells. Sells was quite accurate with those and got it in and around Wood, Noah, but he couldn't get the knockdown onto a Forest player. You know, that was, I don't know if you saw it from your end at the ground, but it was very long ball from the goalkeeper today.
Yeah, it was. Like, and Chris Wood tries and turns in, but sometimes it just, when Matt Sells kicks it, it's either to Wood and he turns and sometimes fails, or it's, obviously with Matt Turner, he usually, let's not talk about him, but I'd obviously prefer Sells in there over that clown, but like, the difference between Turner and Sells is Sells can actually kick it up straight and actually towards one of our players, whereas Turner, he just, for some reason, Turner always takes the piss with it. Like, he always takes a few touches and then kicks. I mean, Sells did that sometimes today, but it was like, at least he kicked it straight into someone that was actually like attacking, whereas Matt Turner, I don't even know where he is nowadays, but it's just Matt Turner just used to pass it to opposite team every single time and cost us points last season, which in reality could have sent us down.
I think the instruction to Sells to play it long was because I think we were expecting Bournemouth to do high press, and if they had been trying to play it out of defence with tippy-tappy passes, we could have got ourselves in a lot of trouble there. So I prefer to look at that glass half full, that like those long balls, yes, they didn't find the target and they didn't create anything, but they didn't put us under the same sort of suicidal pressure that we might have been under if we were trying to play around with it on the edge of our 6-yard box.
it's a fair point, but then are we going to play to the opposition's strengths as opposed to our strengths? Because most teams would be like, we'll break their press.
Remember the Newcastle game at home last season when we should have had that penalty when Awoniyi got fouled, right?
Yeah.
So that was Sells just played a punt straight through over the top, route one to Awoniyi, and he beat the defence with pace, and he got hacked down. So I feel like if you're going to play those long balls, you do need Awoniyi on the end of it, because I just feel like Wood, you're not getting the flick-ons or anything from him, really. He's too deep, and but I think it could work with Awoniyi a fully fit Awoniyi on the end of it.
And plus Awoniyi's got the strength as well to beat defenders, because obviously he's one of the strongest players, if not the strongest player in the team, because we've all seen him. He can body defenders. Like, he's bodied Saliba, for crying out loud. He can body anyone if he can body him, for God's sake.
Yeah, but the problem is he bodies them and he gets through them and then he kicks the ball into row Z. That's
the thing with Tyro, I think when a ball gets played, it happened earlier on. I think it was Gibbs White that played him in. I think he did a touch, and it was like, he does this sometimes. He takes the touches like too far, and it goes straight at goalkeeper. He does that multiple times. He did it multiple times last season. It was kind of frustrating, but Tyro's a lot better than Wood, I'd say. Obviously,
you almost want to morph them, don't you? You want Wood's finishing with Tyro's general strength and possession play and positional play, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, cool. Gone.
I still said we need another striker. I know Chris Wood is. I mean, I don't even know how old is Chris Wood.
32, I think. 32.
Oh, I thought he was a lot older than that. But I just still think he's getting to that age where he's getting a bit old and slow. That's no offense to him, but
So fully fit Wood or fully fit Tyro? Sounds to me like you'd go Awoniyi up front.
I'll go Tyro.
Yeah, chat A or W in the chat, or T, A or W even.
Well, the question is, who should start against Southampton?
I'm not hating on Wood
against Southampton.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. All right, last question, Noah, because we've got NC to bring on still. Are you more or less confident after today?
Confident for the season? I mean, next week, Southampton. I mean, we beat them 1-0 season before. I think I do have confidence. Wolves, actually, no, we've got Newcastle in Cup before that. Newcastle, I'm not really bothered about that, because cup games are nothing to us, really. It's not like we're going to win it, are we? And then
hello. We all leaned in.
He's been hacked by Chris Wood.
He's been hacked. All right, I'm hoping he's going to say more confident. Listen, no, I think his connection's gone. So thank you for joining, bud.
Cheers, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
I don't know, chat. I'm kind of feeling a little more depressed than we got. I get the comments, all the guys, and shout out to everyone who's coming on. He's doing, but I just think it's just early days still. I saw more positives than negatives today for me.
It's only the first game. It will get a lot better. I think. Look, people are disappointed because the problems that are there are the same ones as last season. That it's almost like we haven't fixed all of the problems from last season. But at the end of the day, it's game one. We got a point. We didn't lose at home on the first day of the season like we usually do. So I think onwards and upwards. I'm sure Nuno and his team are clever enough to fix these problems, but they need to get it done sooner rather than later. But, there are positives as well. Like you said, the set pieces looked way better today. Some of the general ball play down the wings was really good. I think we just need a striker who can keep up with the wingers.
Oh, we've got all the new players. We've got all the new players to come, and somewhere in there is a gem that's going to ignite our season. And maybe it's Sousa, actually. It could be any one of them. So that, for me, I'm not downbeat. I'm just frustrated that we didn't unleash the new players on them. But we've still got that in our locker.
Does it always have to be shiny new toys?
Yeah, they're good signings this year. Not last minute.
I want to see Carlos Miguel in goal next game.
I would like to.
I think obviously it's disappointing because if you look at the first half, if you separate the first half, apart from the horrible injury, the first half was really good. We looked like we would come out and quite easily win the game, and they weren't playing that well. And it's disappointing because they've come out and they've conceded and we've ended up drawing. But if they just repeated the performance in the first half, we could have won that game 2 or 3-0 quite easily.
Yeah, we are just shy of 100 likes with 456 in the house watching across the platforms. We're going to bring NC on to have his say now. So please do hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you're new. And there's a couple of tickets left for all these signed framed Insta wins. So if you want them, you got to get your tickets quick. Scan the QR code or / prize in the chat. It is absolutely going like hotcakes. NC, how you doing?
How you doing, Wolfie?
I'm good.
Doing, Rob? How you doing, Crypto?
All good, thanks. How's your dad, Matt Turner, getting on?
Yeah. I'm good. I think he should get sold. Go back.
You think he should get sold? I thought you were his biggest fan.
Kinda, but I feel like he should go to Championship or the MLS.
Yeah, I think he'd do well in the MLS. And he's still the #1 keeper for US, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
All right, let's not talk about Turner. Let's see how NC's feeling about the game. How are you feeling about the game today, bud?
Like, the first time I was up on this show, it was the Bournemouth game. That the first game Nuno was involved. And as I said back then, we have to trust Nuno no matter what. Like we trust Cooper, even though we were like 20th, like for a few weeks. We trusted Cooper, and he brought us a miracle. So we should trust Nuno. The same.
So you're still fully happy? You're positive, really, is the vibe I'm getting, NC, yeah?
Yes. I feel like he's still getting his subs wrong. I think he was trying to go for a 4-4-1, something like that. Or like
that would be playing a 10 men. I would not trust him if he did that.
Should have been playing.
I mean, like a 5-4-1, something like that.
Okay.
So like I think he was just going all defensive, and he shouldn't do that. He should have gone for the second goal, and then we would have been safe.
Yeah. So you're a bit like Crypto. You think if we maybe switched it up an extra 5%, really pushed for a goal, got it, that would have killed the game off?
Yes, it would. And if we bring in Big Sam, I'll probably be done with Forest. I don't want any other manager than Nuno.
Who mentioned his name?
Breaking news, NC. They're linking us with Big Sam.
I'll tell you what, I remember last time NC was on, you were right about Reina, actually. I remember you poured some cold water on that transfer, and I'd have to say it didn't quite ignite our season in the way we expected.
Yes. I feel like Wood is our best striker. I said that a while back, but I think Wood is better than Taiwo because he can get into those positions and he's not like around the place. Like, I don't know.
Would you take Steve Bruce? They're all coming at you now.
I'm good.
Why are we talking about other managers?
Let's move forward. Okay, so you'd play Wood. Are you like Rob? Are there any sign of the new signings you would have liked to see start today?
I would love to see Anderson, Yates. I want to see that.
Oh, in the middle.
Yes.
Oh, so you're like Rob then? You weren't too impressed with Sangare?
Yes. I'm not really a big Sangare fan because I don't know. Something about him, he just turns away the ball sometimes. He's like a bit like he like spins like Gibbs White, so I don't really like him that much.
Fair enough. Would you go with that combo, Rob?
I would be more tempted to do... Well, you know what I want. I want Gibbs White playing deeper. And I think that maybe that might have worked a bit better today, but he was just bad today. But if we're going to play Gibbs White as a 10, I would maybe start the next game with Anderson and Dominguez, but then I don't know. Maybe Sangare is more suited to an away game. Who knows?
I'll give you guys one positive.
Go on.
Elanga was good. Elanga was really good.
What did you like about Elanga today?
He didn't shoot it. He didn't shoot the ball.
Do you feel he should be? He was going inside quite a bit, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Do you prefer that? Or would you like to see him going down the wing?
I like him to be a creator because at the beginning of the season, I saw Elanga be more of a creator with who was on the left when we started the season last season.
Morgan Gibbs-White. Elanga was, yeah, and Morgan Gibbs-White on the right, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that. I like Elanga more as like a creator and Morgan Gibbs-White to push deeper, and maybe put Hudson-Odoi like as like that up front kind of guy because he can finish.
Interesting. Well, we're Sosa coming in.
NC, I still haven't forgiven you for making me buy a Reina shirt.
Well, you bought a Reina shirt because of me?
Yeah. You convinced me. You convinced me he was going to be our best player.
That was the point. No, you said quite right. He's a bit of a brat that's had a leg up from his famous father, and I think that's what you said, and I think you were right.
I think there's a player in him still. All right, no, NC, sorry. Give us same question to round it off. Are you more or less positive after today's game?
At least we didn't lose.
Love it. So I'm taking that as you're more positive.
I think where we're gonna finish this season, I think we can potentially push top 10.
Love it. Love it. Don't you grimace, Rob. The man knows what the boy knows what he's talking about. We can. We must. Listen, NC.
And I really enjoy Hudson-Odoi today. I think he was our best player out there.
He's going to be important to us, isn't he? He really is.
And
there's no doubt we're going to have you back on a few more of the phone-ins down the road, mate. So appreciate you coming in all the way from the USA. Thank you so much, bud.
Yep.
Have a good night or an afternoon. Is this still afternoon for you guys? Depends where you are in the USA. Cool. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, bud. Good to speak to you again.
Come on, you Reds.
Reds.
Okay, so interesting set of calls. I think we'll do a couple of closing calls. Just to remind you guys, tomorrow we got a Grumpy Old Reds coming at you at about 8 p.m, I think. So, oh, God. I've had a few messages from Ant. I think it could be quite fiery tomorrow night. But look, overall, Rob, I'm positive. Even with your Sangare agenda, I think you're the only one who thought Sangare was crap.
I didn't think he was crap. I just think you overrated him. I think he was mixed. I
what did you give him out of 10? What did you give him out of 10?
Like 6.
I gave him a 7. Are you splitting hairs over one mark then?
Well, I just think you're not seeing the bad things that he does.
I called out the bad things he did.
What? No, you didn't. I've watched the player ratings.
Chat, did I call out the bad pass he made that Bolly had to bail him out from? Yes or no, chat? I called that out.
So if Bolly doesn't do that, then we've got another situation like we had away at Fulham where he directly gave away a goal. So that's not his job as a 6. His job as a 6 is to win the ball and pass it to someone in space, not to do
you
silly.
Expect 100% pass accuracy.
No, but I think that
Yeah, but look at all the tackles he put in.
Yeah. You're not convinced, are you, Rob? You're not convinced.
I'm happy to see him in the Southampton game. I'm not trying to bin him yet. I think. Look, the positivity from me comes around people that we haven't seen yet, right? We've got 4, 5 new signings we haven't seen yet, plus whoever we're still going to sign. So just disappointed that we didn't see any of them today. But yeah, we've done 1 point better than we did against Bournemouth in the corresponding last 2 attempts. So let's just forget about it and move on. It's not the result or the performance. It's more how it made me feel watching it. It just didn't feel any different to last year. That's what's really sort of working away at me subconsciously.
Get Crypt to make it positive, man.
It's only the first game. There was a lot of positives. Someone's just said it in the chat. I can't remember who. Luke. If we were looking at the first half performance, we would have been giving everybody 7, 8, 9 out of 10. We came out and we looked really good despite the injury to Danilo. The problem was it is the same as last season where we lose focus, last 15 minutes, concede, and we don't get the win. And it's got to change, but it's very
solvable. Is that solvable? Because this has been a long time now.
It is solvable, and that's where the disappointments come in, that it hasn't been solved and we're in a new season. But I'm sure the coaching staff will be able to fix it over the next few games. And I think we'll see some of those changes going into the Southampton game. But look, it's first game of the season. We can't be too negative about it. You've got to give the players the confidence they need, because we don't want to end up in a relegation fight again. This season, for me, is meant to be aiming for a mid-table finish. So they've really got to get their mindset, like Nismo says in the chat, get their mindset in gear and believe that they can go on and win the games that they should do. So you've got to stay positive. I think give Nuno a chance. 4 or 5 games time, we'll see how we're getting on, and pray that we're doing better than we were at this point, in the last few seasons.
Well, we already are. We're plus 1 point on this time last season. Exactly. I'm positive. I think I saw plenty good in that match. Shout out to Noah. He says he's going to bed. Thanks, guys, for having me on. 199 from him. And another 199 saying, love to the chat for looking after me choking. He's choking away there on his pizza. Rob, closing words from you, mate, and we'll wrap up.
All right, let's. I think we should just try and move on. I'm going to put it down to we lost Aina to injury.
That's worrying.
Nico Williams was on a yellow card, so we were vulnerable on both wings. And I think Bournemouth just, they sought to exploit that, and they just had us on the back foot. But it's over now. We could have lost. We didn't lose. Just move on and forget about it. I think actually Bournemouth was a horrible game to start with. But I'm just glad it's out the way. And who knows, maybe we can beat them at their place.
Yeah. And shout out to my boy Anthony pointing out we're 8th in the table, which is what I predicted, chat, right? I got receipts on it. So we are just end the season right now. All right, we'll wrap it up there. We're back tomorrow with Grumpy Old Reds. I think there might be a video in the afternoon. I can't remember the schedule. Please do hit the like. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Shout out to all the guys who jumped on to have a chat with us. For there's some really interesting calls on there. We'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.